Disclaimer: this is not financial advice. Always do your own due diligence before putting your money to work. With that out of the way, let's have some fun and enjoy the episode. What's good, y'all? Welcome back to another episode of the Rich Y'all Gains podcast. It's your boy CB checking back in with y'all. This is episode 24. Happy Money Mondays. I hope you all are doing well today. With that being said, let's get right to it. But before we get right to it, I just want to make sure that you all remember to make sure you're using the time that you have on this earth and on this day to be the best version that you could possibly be, and to not only be the best version, but to be the most gratuitous version of yourself, the most grateful version of yourself. Be grateful for the things that you have and the people you have in your life, because there's a lot of people in this world who don't have anybody. There's a lot of people in this world who don't have anything. And so God has blessed you with the ability to have these great resources and these great relationships and these great individuals around you, surrounding you. So don't let a negative thing impact your mood or your mentality towards your day, because like I said, there's only so much time that you have. Your time is limited and your blessings are limited. So you have to appreciate the blessings that you have and thank God for every blessing that he gives you and thank him in advance. Don't just, not acknowledge the thing that he's blessed you with as if it's not a blessing. It is always a blessing. You being here today is a blessing. Me talking to you is a blessing. Me being able to make this video and you see it is a blessing. All these things are little blessings that we have to appreciate each and every day. In today's video, we're going to talk about 4 ways investors stay successful. Because if you look over all the top investors, the most wealthiest people in the world, they come from different backgrounds, they come from different industries, they're all rich from different things. So what is the reoccurring thing that goes along with each investor to be as rich as they are and as wealthy as they are? Starting out with number 1, successful investors understand the difference between value and noise. They know that things that are valuable cannot be consumed by the things that are noisy. We live in a society and a world full of noise, full of chaos, full of distraction, and full of disruption. You get on your phone every day, you get on Instagram, you get on Facebook, you get on TikTok, and all you see is distractions. All you see is news. All you see is rumors. All you see is different topics and discussions going on every minute, every second. That's noise. And that's what's distracting most people from being able to be a successful investor. Compared to the person that is a successful investor, they understand that the thing that they're doing has value. So much value that it creates a returning customer to continuously come back to them and buy from them, because they understand that what their product is valuable. Whether it be a informational service, whether it be a physical service or a product, whatever the case may be, that thing serves value so much that it outweighs the noise. And so most successful investors understand this, and that is the first way and the first thing that they understand in order to be a successful investor. The things that are valuable outweigh in such a way, like for instance, having a home. People need somewhere to live. It doesn't matter what noise is happening outside of that phone. You have to have a place to go home to, and if you don't, then you're most likely on the side of the street or sleeping in the car or whatever the case may be. But most people need homes, so it makes sense for an investor to be in real estate, because who doesn't want to own their own home or live in a home or rent a home, whether it be a house, an apartment, or a storage unit? It doesn't matter. The bottom line is that is value. because there's a need for something that's greater than said noise or distractions or whatever the case is. So understanding value is what most investors do in order to be successful. The second thing investors have an understanding of is the understanding of systems. They have mastered the ability to identify and recognize systems through patterns, habits, and characteristics. These things are important on your journey because as you grow, you want to create something that can be repetitive and redone by someone else. You don't want to be the person in the driver's seat all your life. You want to create something that can be driven by any person, whether it be a little young adult or an older adult. It doesn't matter. The goal is for the system to be created in a way that can be repeated each and every day, each and every hour, each and every minute. You want to create things that have systems in place that can be reproduced by someone else. Look at McDonald's, for example. McDonald's has a franchise business model. They have McDonald's all across the world. And there's not one single owner. There's multiple owners. Owners who have created their own franchise establishments and hired managers and employees. There's a systematic way that McDonald's goes about onboarding and allowing people to become a franchise owner of McDonald's. And that allows other people to now make money off of that model. Creating a system ties into the first topic about understanding value. People need to eat. So people understanding that they need to eat, now you create a systematic way to create a business around people eating food. And not only people eating food, but now people also needing a place to eat food. So real estate plus food equals a valuable system. I hope you guys are paying attention to what I'm saying, because this is how the highly successful investors think. They think of ways to compound and stack so many different things on top of each other to make such valuable products and businesses. People can't even get past TikTok or Instagram and stop scrolling long enough so that they can do something productive enough to create a return big enough to change their family's lives. So the first thing we had was understanding value over noise. The second thing we had was understanding the importance of systems and how to manage, identify, and utilize these systems. The third thing successful investors do is they keep it simple. Now, this is hard for a lot of people, and I understand why. Once again, we live in a world full of noise and chaos and disruption and distractions. So a lot of people get tied up in consuming their energy with things that have no real value. Like, what outfit should they wear today? Now, I don't know about you, but being indecisive on deciding what outfit to wear today, just throw on the same shirt and wear it every single day at this point. Because there's bigger problems that you can be solving, especially in today's day and age. With today's tools and resources, you shouldn't be stuck on what outfit should you wear today or what drink should I get from Starbucks today, and not being able to make a decision. It goes to people who want to work out as well. It's just simply getting up and keeping it simple enough to go through the process and take the actions. So if you say something about wanting to get healthy, okay, well, you need to go to the gym and you need to eat right. That's it. You don't need to do anything more or anything less than that. The intrinsic details are the same thing. You just come up with the plan and execute the plan. It's really, really simple. You don't need to do more than that. So not, oh, I need to eat healthy, but what should I eat this day? What should I eat this day? What should I eat this day? Have a pre-made meal prep for the week and just go about your days eating the same thing over and over. Not every single day deciding what to eat and deciding to work out. Have a workout routine and have a meal prep plan in place so that you don't have to think about those things. You want to create a life where you think about the small things less. The tedious task and the everyday task of showing up and doing the little things, you think about those things less. You create a schedule so well that you time block certain things out of your day to not even think about them. You know it's in your routine of doing, and you just do. That's how successful people operate. And now with AI being implemented and created, it's creating more free time for people to have. So you're having more free time on your hands to do more things. That's very important and very valuable. And a lot of people are missing the value and the importance of AI and how it can help add value to your life and add time to your life rather than take time away from you. And that's a conversation for another day, which we will probably talk about next week, about the importance of AI and how people's perspective on AI is going to dictate where they are in the next few years. So stop overcomplicating things. Stop making things harder than they are. Keep it very, very simple. And I promise you, you will see better results. If you guys want more tips and tricks about day trading and investing, make sure to click the link in the bio, www.continuebelief.com. I share a lot of free resources and tools, tips and tricks about how to day trade, how to get started investing, and so much more. So make sure you guys check out the link in the bio. Thank you guys so much. Make sure to leave a like and follow. And yeah, see you guys later. The fourth and final thing highly successful people and investors do really well is they understand how to be patient. They understand how to wait long enough to see the result. Most people trying to invest don't see the results that they want to see because they throw in the towel too soon and they give up too early. While successful investors and successful people that have put money in things that take years to build understand that they have to work through each and every season, the good seasons, the bad seasons, the mediocre seasons, every single season, no matter what, in order to get the result that they're trying to get. And then even when they reach the result, they still keep up the process because they've gone so far. Why not continue to go and continue to elevate? Because there's only so many people who are really trying to change and who are really trying to create change. And so it's rare that those people who are trying to change will stop trying to change. They will continue to try to change because they've only known that way of living for so long. So why would they stop? So if you're one of those people who's trying to change, you have to understand that it's not going to change overnight. Nothing changes overnight. It took you 18 years to get to the point that you're at now, where you're graduating high school and now going to college. It took you another 4 years to learn something else. It took you another 4 years to become something more than that. You're not even a fully developed adult until you get to 25. So it takes 25 years just so you can be in your fullest form of who you might be, and then you might reach your prime somewhere along those lines. Things take time. That's the point. The point of me saying all that is to say things take time. So you have to be patient enough, long enough to see the results that you want to see eventually. I say eventually because there's no guarantee on when the thing might happen or if it'll happen, because we don't know. The only thing we know is the current moment we're in, the time that we have right now, and what we can do with our time right now. So these are a few things you guys can do in order to become a highly successful investor. Make sure to keep learning, keep building, keep striving to be great, and you will do just fine. Today's investment tip of the week: build consistently good habits. This one is interesting because in order to become the best version of yourself, the person you want to be in the future, you have to do the things that you want to be. You have to do the things in order to align yourself with who you want to be now. So that means you have to take the actions that you want to. You have to take the actions now to become the person who you want to be later. That's a better way of me saying it. So creating good habits and doing the things that align with who you want to be will help you get there not only a lot sooner, but just get there for sure with the guarantee of that lifestyle being more accustomed to who you are. So having the routine in place with investing, having the routine in place with showing up for your family, having the routine in place with showing up for yourself, having the routine in place with showing up for God, all these things are habits that you have to actionably take and activate in your life. I didn't God's going to be there for you regardless, but you have to go seek him out. You have to, because like I said, there's a lot of distractions in this world that will distract you and deter you away from being a child of God. And so God will give you the free will to make the choices of your life and decide if you choose him or not. You have to willingly go and choose. And so I'm saying it to say you have to willingly go out and make these decisions on your own to decide the life that you want to have. Once you've decided, you have to commit. Once you commit, you have to stay disciplined, because there's going to be moments in your journey and in your life where the discipline or the motivation isn't there, but you still have to show up and be disciplined in doing the action, because those days that you don't want to do it are the days that you need to do it. Right? So this is just my thought process and how I feel about good habits and instilling those habits. I've been doing these things that I've been doing now, and I plan to continue to do them as long as I live in order for me to get where I want to go. And I understand, once again, that things take time. We talked about, being a successful investor. You have to understand that planting the seed does not give you the result. You have to wait long enough and be willing to withstand the challenges and the adversity that you're facing, no matter what. And that is how you can create the future version of yourself that you want to be. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be something that's just every day you show up and do these things. No, it's going to probably put strain on your mentality. It's going to put strain on your physicality, your spirituality, everything. It's going to test you, and it's meant to test you. It's meant to push you to limits that you have not seen before, push you to versions of yourself that you haven't seen before. It's meant to exhaust and stretch and create tension. It's not meant to be easy. So once you understand that, and you live that life of the difficult, then you're already setting yourself apart from the mediocre or the average, because the mediocre and the average want the easy life, want the comfortable life. But again, we've talked about this before. Living a comfortable life isn't really comfortable, because you're always having to adapt and change and readjust and navigate regardless. So you're going to have to do these things anyway. So why not just take control of it and do it yourself rather than let it control you? That's just my thoughts. I personally want to be the person that's in control, and at least having God in control and not letting society control my life. That's your investment tip of the week. Invest in yourself. Pour into yourself, pour into your family, and make sure that you guys are taking care of the things that matter. All right. This week we have some earnings coming up, and some stocks that are on my radar at least. So here are a few stocks that I'm watching for this week's earnings. Number 1, we have Tesla. Number 2, we have GEV. Number 3, we have GE. And number 4, we have RTX. Most of those are tech names. I am looking to see how we respond. Specifically on Tesla, we have a pretty aggressive sell-off, and then we had a pretty aggressive run-up last week. So I'm pretty excited to see Tesla's earnings reports and their transition to, being a robot manufacturer rather than a car manufacturer. I don't know if you guys know, but for Tesla and what Elon's trying to create with Tesla, he's not trying to focus more on cars. He's trying to focus less on cars and more on robots and autonomous, robo-taxis and self-driving vehicles and things of that nature. So I want to see how much progress they have made with that. And then not only that, I want to see what GEV and GE have to report for their electronics and electricity, how well that's been doing. And then RTX, I'm pretty sure it's a semiconductor company. I'm not entirely sure, but I just have seen that name before. So I want to see, I think it's either a semiconductor company or a memory company. So one of the two. And I just want to see how they report their earnings because they had a pretty decent run up to start the year. And outside of that, there are a lot of bank names and consumable names reporting. So keep an eye out for those as well. Me personally, I think tech has or was undervalued until last week. Last week we had a pretty crazy run up, which we'll talk about here soon. And so I definitely want to see pullbacks. Personally, want to see pullbacks in the market just to get a little bit of a buying opportunity for quick swing trades and things like that, and then ride those back to the upside. But again, we could possibly even report more negative and have more selling pressure come in to affect these stocks as well. So these are the few stocks I'm watching going into this earnings week. So yeah, the S&P 500 has reached new all-time highs. What are my thoughts? How much higher can it go? Where do I think it can end up at? Man, it was a crazy reversal that we got from the S&P 500, and just seeing that move happen in such short a time. That move happened in less than 10 days. We got the move. We got the news about the ceasefire. For those of you who don't know, we got the news about the ceasefire the first week of April, and it was Tuesday afternoon. The news reported that there's a ceasefire for 2 weeks, and so from Tuesday night to Wednesday morning, we had a gap up from 660 all the way up to 676. From there, we ran up from 676 all the way up to $712 as of last Friday. And then we closed the week out at $710. Now, this recording is happening before the market opens on Monday, so I don't know exactly where the market's opening. I did release my stock market prediction video on weekly watch list of what I'm looking to see happen in the S&P. So go check that out if you guys haven't on YouTube. And yeah, so we had a pretty crazy run up from that Wednesday to this Friday. Where do I think we can go? I think we can go higher if the catalyst does not change. And when I say catalyst, meaning the news doesn't change about the war. If the war continues to hold the ceasefire and the war actually comes to an end, then we will be able to see higher as of right now. Now, there are other catalysts and things like that that can transpire later in the year, but I don't think that it will have a major impact as much as the war did as of this current moment. There's other catalysts like the Fed chair, Jerome Powell stepping down, and there being a new chairman come in, and other news catalysts as well outside of the war can affect it as well. I do think, however, if we can hold the ceasefire, we can see higher, and we can possibly even run up for the next few months and possibly reach as high as $760 by the end of the year. That's my prediction. That's my thought. I think that the S&P 500 can reach closer to $760 before the end of this year. And yeah, so we'll see where that ends up at. But as I mentioned before, this ceasefire does have to hold, because if it doesn't, I think that there can be some selling pressure coming into the market that creates a lot of fear again, and maybe even trigger a lot of selling pressure. So who knows? There's a lot of theories and thoughts going around about the war and what's going on, and all in all, this market has been the most volatile for me in my experience, given the crazy move ups and crazy run downs. The crazy buying pressure moving higher, the crazy selling pressure moving downward. So we've had a very interesting start to the year. So I'm very, very curious to see how things play out. And this is a news-driven market, so you just want to keep your eye on the news and know what's happening with the war and with everything else in this world that's going on, because that's what's impacting the stocks the most. And of course, that's what impacts stocks anyway, but it's impacting even more than it normally does, in my opinion. But regarding the war, we were at a ceasefire these last 2 weeks. This is now coming up to be the final few days of the second week, and so the ceasefire hasn't been renewed. There has been announcements about the Iranian country closing the Strait of Hormuz once more going into Friday afternoon, or actually Saturday morning, I believe. And so, as I mentioned, this is a recording before the market opens, so I don't know where exactly the market opens, but that could be a negative negative news headline that came out that could impact the market to have a little bit of selling pressure, and I wouldn't be surprised at that either, because looking at technicals, they just look like we're due for some selling to come in. So I don't know how much that will impact the market, but be prepared for possible buying opportunity if the negative news impacts the market in a way that creates some buying potential. So that's what I'm looking to see happen going into tomorrow, and also going into the later end of this week. As I mentioned, we have earnings reports for a lot of companies, and so I'm looking to see how those companies report their earnings as well, to possibly buy some stocks of those companies. But yeah, if that news is responded in a negative way, then we could see some more selling pressure come in. If it's not, then we keep running. And if we come to like I said, if we come to a conclusion of the war, then that's definitely good news, and that will drive the market even higher. So as of right now, I don't think the war is completely over. We're probably getting closer to it, and I hope it comes to an end sooner than later, so that we can just stop fighting. It's kind of a pointless fight to me. It was a pointless fight from the start. I don't know what the goal was. I didn't look too much into it, but I just, from first reaction, first response, I'm like, why? That's what my thought process was. So hopefully, like I said, we come to an end, and this war comes to an end sooner than later. But you guys have my prediction for the end of the year, and you have my thoughts on where we're at right now with the war. So hopefully we all come to an end soon with that. And yeah, it's anyone's guess at this point. It's anyone's guess where we stand with Iran, where the war is at. Only person that really has the intel is Trump. So hopefully things come to a conclusion sooner than later. But with that being said, this is going to be episode 24 of the Rich Off Games podcast. I appreciate you all for tuning in once more. Make sure to thank him in advance, thank God in advance for the things he's blessed you with and provided you with, because as I said before, this can be taken for granted. So don't take these things for granted. Cherish them moments with your family, cherish the moment with your loved ones, cherish your health, cherish your wealth, and use your resources that God's given you intended to not only help yourself, but help others as well. It's your boy CB checking with you all. Happy Money Mondays. I hope y'all enjoy this. I'll see y'all next week.